Hi guys, my name is David and welcome back to episode 16 of Grimm Tuesdays. And today's fairy tale is called The Three Languages. Now, I must confess that this story, surprise surprise, was really shocking. And I feel that I have to owe you guys some trigger warnings that this revolves around an abusive parent, attempted murder, and child endangerment. So this revolves around a count who has a son, an only son, who is described in the book as being a bit stupid, and despite his father's to get him to learn something and to teach him something, no matter how hard he tries, he can never get through to his son. So he decides to send him off to a unknown master to learn something and then in a year's time come back. So a year's passed and the son returns to his father and he asks his son, okay, what did you learn? And his response was that he learned how to speak to dogs and to understand what dogs mean when they bark. So his father is very angry and upset about this, and he sends his son to another master where he spends another year studying. And when he comes back within a year's time, his father asks him, okay, what did you learn this time? And he says that he has been taught how to talk to birds. So as you can imagine, his father is extremely upset about this, and he reluctantly sends his son off to a third master. And when he comes back, his father asks him yet again what he has learned in that time. And he has said that he has learned the ability to talk to frogs. So at this point, his father is enraged and full of anger and hatred, yes, hatred towards his son, about how stupid and how reluctant he is to learn something useful. It's never really specified about what kind of subject his father wants his son to learn. So as a result of not learning anything in his father's eyes, he gets a large amount of people from the neighbouring village to take his son into the forest and to get rid of him, which means to kill him. And yes, it does actually specify that he wanted these villagers to take his son into the woods and kill him. So when the villagers are in the woods and are about to do this, they are so overcome by guilt, by what they have been instructed to do. So they let the son live, they let him run off and escape. Before they go back to the count, they find a doe and they carve out its eyes and cut out its tongue to bring back to the count and show him that, okay, this is proof that we've done what you have asked. So the son has found this castle while he's been wandering around in the wilderness, and he comes across this lord, and he asks the lord about whether he can stay in the castle and have shelter. The lord says yes, it's fine, but only he catches that there is this room underneath this tower in the basement, I presume, or in the dungeons rather, which has been infested by wild dogs that they have to feed numerous times in order to satisfy them. But yeah, the son says, yeah, I'll go down there, but he requires them to give him some meat to give to the dogs. So when he goes down to the basement or the dungeons, he encounters these wild dogs and they don't attack him. And they tell him about this treasure that they have been guarding, that I think is their treasure, that they think that it's their treasure, or that they believe it's their treasure. But when this treasure is recovered, the dogs depart from the castle, and as a result of this, the Lord is full with joy, and he is so pleased about what this individual has done for him, and he gets his daughter, and of course the son marries this princess, who he's probably just met. But yeah, that's pretty standard in the Brothers Grimm fairy tales. So when they are in a carriage and they are going on a journey somewhere. I can't remember where. I'm pretty sure it's Rome. On the roads, they come across these toads or frogs in the middle of the path or road. So the carriage stops and the son kneels down and has a silent conversation with the frogs. And when he comes back to the carriage, he doesn't tell his wife what they said, but he is very, very distressed about this. So when they get to Rome, they find that the Pope has just died. It's never really specified about how he died. I presume it's because of old age or maybe a medical condition. But the members of the church say, look, we've got to find somebody to become the new Pope. And they agree that whoever can perform a miracle of some sort will become the new Pope. So the son goes into the church, and at this point, these two doves fly down and land on his shoulders, and they have a conversation with him. I also want to say at this point that whenever these animals are talking to this individual, they can both understand each other, but a third party will not be able to understand what they're saying. But after seeing this, the members of the church are convinced that this individual, this son, this person that has the ability to talk to doves, has fulfilled their needs and has been offered the position of the new Pope. At first, the son is very reluctant to take up this position, but he eventually agrees to become the new Pope. And that's where the story leaves off. So this story was a very interesting story. It really was. It was violence and gory, and yeah. It did have some of the standard things that I've come to expect from the Grimm brothers, such as forced marriage or arranged marriage or whatever. Two people that have met within an hour or so decide to marry each other. And obviously talking animals, that's another thing that's a standard thing in the Grimm books. But yeah, I thought this was a really entertaining read. Not the best, but definitely not the worst. Let me know if you have heard of this story. Let me know again if you read this as a child. So yeah, with all that out of the way and all said and done, I will see you in my next video.